Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Ashland Democratic State Senator Jeff Golden. Thanks for coming.
Craig, thanks for having me in.
So busy session, a busy short session beginning February 3rd, less than 2 weeks away. Democrats, your party, plan to bring cap and trade back. Do you have any reason to believe this won't end with another walkout from Republicans?
You know, I have been so busy on wildfire stuff while I'm the chairman that I haven't been at those inner tables doing the negotiating. I know that the Republican caucus isn't of one mind, neither is my caucus about this bill. I don't know what their bottom line is for staying in the building. I do know that the concessions that were made, the revisions since the last session, the big one is that no provision would result in higher gas taxes for the rural part of the state for an indefinite period of time, which is what we heard mostly last session. There's a lot going on in the natural gas sector that would really make your eyes glaze over if I went into it. So there are major steps that have gone on. And I understand, I heard that Senator Bertschiger wasn't real impressed with the concessions. On the other end are a bunch of people pressuring us not to weaken the bill, and they'd walk away from the bill. So I guess if you really made me guess, I would say it's a real long shot to get a bill passed out in this short session. There's just too much detail. The tempers haven't really cooled down entirely from last session. And it kind of broke the process. And I don't know in 35 days how you mend that and then get to the meat of the substance of the bill. So I'd be a little surprised if we walk out with a bill.
Yeah, short session. It's only been 6 months or less since the last one ended. And the reason and we do want to talk about some other stuff, but the reason we're talking cap and trade first, as I understand it, is the first thing that's going to be tackled in the session. I know there's a lot of things going on, and obviously with both sides being seemingly dug in, they're bears to be watching. Just stepping away from the politics, how much will this cost Oregonians if cap and trade becomes law?
Well, now, we can try to, no one knows an exact answer. You can do some estimates, but you also have to look at the cost of not acting. You know, the wildfires of 2018 cost in the several billions of dollars. We've got more of those coming up. That's all, you go to other parts of the country, you got tens of billions of dollars in flood and other kinds of damage. That it's not like there's a path that isn't expensive going forward. No one really knows. If the bill went through for the entire state, it's been estimated that gasoline prices, as a result, would go up some 16 to 18 cents per gallon at first, and then a penny or two per year going forward. But that is really a rough guess, with rebates to people of median income and below who have to travel long distances. That's part of the bill too.
Is there concern that, well, I should say Republicans have concerns that it will also be passed down to consumers? Trucking will go up, for example, maybe our groceries go up. Where do you stand as that being a concern?
Well, I think it's a concern. I think our business is to make sure that people and businesses who are on the edge already don't get hammered. Usually it's the lower end, whenever there's a big change, that bears most of the cost. We have to make sure that doesn't happen. But I think somebody is not being straight with folks if they say there's an easy path forward. This climate stuff, who knows, it'll sort of take care of itself. We don't really have to change the way we're doing. And changes involve things like price increases. We have had now 50 or 60 years of access to gasoline and oil that has made all of our lives really comfortable. Mine too. I love hopping in my car, driving anywhere. So can I go with, we've had, my whole lifetime, a really prosperous and easy road, largely because of how low fossil fuel has been priced, gasoline and everything else. I love how cheap and convenient it is. There is no other country with remotely our low prices, and it's because we haven't charged polluters for the space they take in the atmosphere. We haven't charged for public health costs. We haven't charged for the part of our defense bill that is keeping the oil lanes open. We have subsidized this to great comfort and convenience, but I'm one of those who say we can't keep following this path. And change is disruptive. Change means we give up some of those artificially low prices. I don't like that, and I'm going to fight as much as I can to make sure that the most economically vulnerable people don't have to suffer. They've suffered enough. But things have to change.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Ashland Democratic State Senator Jeff Golden. We want to put a quick tie on the cap and trade discussion we had in part one. Liberal groups have promised, if nothing comes from this session, that they will get something on the ballot. Do you think that is a better idea for Oregon, or do you really want to be able to decide this in Salem? Because you don't know what they're going to bring to the table. Yeah,
that's right. If we get a strong bill, it's better to do it in the legislature. I like the initiative process. Some of the initiatives are not well thought out, but they keep pressure to keep moving forward and not just twiddle our thumbs in Salem. If we don't get the job done on climate, I'll be supporting some sort of initiative as a citizen.
I want to ask you about a couple of the things you're working on. Campaign finance. So what can we expect in this session?
Well, we'll be voting in November as a people on whether to amend the Constitution to allow regulation of campaign finance. I want people to vote yes on that, and I expect it'll pass. Now we're working on a limits bill. What should the limits be? And there's a disagreement of how much the existing special interests kind of keep doing what they're doing under different names, move the boxes around, versus really reform that makes politics in Oregon people-powered. There's going to be a lot of discussion going forward. Probably not time to finish a bill in this short session. Probably we're going to be working in the interim and coming back in 2021. But I hope people at least vote to allow us or them by the initiative process to put limits on campaign donations.
And we had Senator Herman Baird-Sugar, the Senate Minority Leader, here in this 5 on 5 interview yesterday talking about much of the same stuff, cap and trade. But you guys are also working together on wildfires. What can people expect from this session?
I chair a wildfire committee. Senator Baird-Sugar is the vice chair. And this is huge. It's going to change the way the state does business. It's going to reorganize departments. It's going to work with local governments around zoning, building materials, what they call defensible space. And I'm hoping it doesn't rip open the timber wars argument again, because there are those who just say, let's just harvest more and more and more, and that'll take care of things, that's a big cause. And there are those, I'm one of them, who think that our forest management in the past has been really flawed. And we have to remove fuel over millions of acres, staying away from the backcountry, staying close to where we have settlement. We don't have the resources right now, so we got to figure that out. We have to ask the timber industry to step up and pay their share. We're working with insurance companies, with the utilities for public-private partnerships. But it is a new day, and I think the wildfires of 2018 convinced people we have to step up, we have to reorganize, we have to invest back in our forests after 50 years of taking so much out of them. And we'll support all that, but the devil's going to be in the details.
I know how busy you are. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.